We are doing a re-recording of our Selling Cyber presentation for today. And we're going to start with our objectives. And our first objective for today is to go over a brief overview of the cyber product. We're going to talk about an introduction to the 333 process, which is the Indium selling process, and all of the supporting materials that go along with that process. We're going to introduce you to our cyber carriers, and we're going to discuss support that you can expect from us during the quote process. Finally, I'm going to leave you with some next steps, as I always do, for what you should be doing right after today's webinar. Your cyber team is the same as it was last week when we kicked off the cyber test period. That's Dave and myself. I'm Kim Wyrick, and then our account managers, Karen and Mark. And Mark's on the phone with us today and will be presenting as well. So we're your cyber team during the test phase as well as during the full implementation process to all Indium agents. So feel free to reach out to us at any point during this test phase. Mark, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on over to you for cyber coverage today.
All right, thanks, Kim. So cyber coverage today. A lot of agents, such as yourselves, as well as customers, want to know, what are cyber policies and privacy policies, and what do they cover? So basically, a cyber and privacy policy covers a business's liability for a data breach in which the firm's customers' personal information, such as social security numbers, credit card numbers, have been exposed or stolen by a hacker. And it's typically, the cyber coverage policy typically includes some combination of 4 different components. The first component that you're going to see on the policies is the errors and omission, or E&O coverage. This provides coverage for claims that arise from errors in the performance of your services. This can include technology services like software and consulting services, as well as your traditional professional services like lawyers, doctors, architects, and engineers. The second component that you will notice or see all the time typically is media liability. These are advertising injury claims such as infringement of intellectual property or copyright and trademark infringement. What we're seeing is due to internet presence of businesses today, a lot of technology companies have migrated this coverage from their general liability policies and started to bundle them into more of a media component or cyber policy. Some even will have a separate media liability policy depending on the scope of their operations. And it's important to also note that the media liability coverage can also extend to offline content as well, which is a nice added feature of this coverage or component. The next component that you will see is network security. Network security is a failure of the security which can lead to, that you have in place, an operation has in place, that can lead to many different exposures, including consumer data breach, destruction of data. One of the most common security failures we see is the transmission of viruses. And even now, cyber criminals or culprits, you'll see what we call cyber extortion, where they will actually hack into a business's website and lock that website and prevent them from doing business until they pay a fee that they request. So a lot of times it puts the customer at a place where they have to pay this criminal a certain amount of money just to get their website released and so they can continue to do business. Another component that you will see typically in cyber coverage is the privacy component. It doesn't have to involve just network security failure. Privacy can also be a breach of physical records, such as files that an employee throws away in a dumpster as opposed to properly shredding. It can be human errors resulting from a lost laptop where privacy breaches will occur, as well as companies have faced situations where they've had a photocopier with a hard drive that contained unwiped customer tax records. So there's multiple ways that the privacy component can come into play in the case of a breach happening. You know, some insurers also will use different terminology, and some will divide the four components we just talked about even further. So it makes cyber policies very difficult at times for us as agents as well as insurers to read and compare and understand when they're looking at apples to apples and covering and comparing coverages and policies. So privacy and network security. You know, one thing to, I guess, pinpoint what's unique about the privacy and network security coverages is that both first-party costs and third-party liabilities are covered. Some of the typical first-party coverage applies to direct costs from responding to a privacy breach or security failure, such as crisis management, electronic data and restoration expense, as well as, say, computer fraud or transfer fraud. The other component is your third-party liability coverage. This applies when people sue or make claims against you, or regulators demand information from you. Network and information security liability, communications and media liability are all components of the third-party liability that you'll see in the privacy and network security coverages. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Kim, and she's going to talk to everybody about selling cyber and how we're going to go about doing that.
Thanks, Mark, and I think from everything you're talking through, and if you've done the homework, which were the 2 videos and the Betterly report, reading that through, you'll see that it can be really confusing even to those of us that are in the insurance industry. So we know that this is going to be a topic that is new to our insureds, to our customers, so many of them are going to be first-time buyers of this product. From the research, it's estimated that only 1/3 of businesses actually currently carry cyber insurance. So we know it's going to be a new discussion with them and a necessary one, but we want to make sure that they are comfortable with the terminology, and we're going to utilize a lot of the terms and try to help define those for them. We want to be able to provide you with stories and scenarios from recent events in the media that can really assist you in showing the reality of a cyber attack on a small business, which could be detrimental completely to their existence. So we need to make sure that they're ready to have this discussion with us. So the Indium cyber process, we've spent quite some time developing a process for our Indium agents to use for this cyber product, particularly because it's unique and it's new to the customers. It's definitely going to require a higher level of consultation on your part. So the process that we're going to cover has 4 goals. We want to help you become proactive in seeking out opportunities to provide needed cyber coverage to your customers. We want to allow both Indium and you to build a reputation as experts and leaders in this relevant product line. We want to be able to streamline the sales process for you for this line of business for a quicker sale, because it is going to be something that's harder to explain. It might take a little bit more consultation on your part. And we also want to have a very focused approach in 3 areas of support to your agency. So let's take a look at that. 3-3-3 sales process is what we're calling it. This is the high-level view of the process available to our agents. It also highlights the fact that there's going to be an underlying marketing and communication strategy support that you're going to be able to use with your customers that we're providing you. There's 3 separate areas of support for our agencies. the agency support level, the producer support level, and then the client support level. And we're going to break each section down and cover the supporting materials that we've developed to help you with this consultative approach. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. That first bullet, that first line is agency support. First and foremost, we want to make sure our partner agencies receive Indium support to be able to bring awareness to the topic of cyber insurance for new clients, to be able to consult on the need for coverage and then the types of coverage, and also be comfortable in cross-selling techniques for this specific coverage line. The agency support phase refers to awareness, so how agencies can learn about selling cyber and Indium cyber program. This support comes from Karen and Mark, who are our cyber experts. They're just a call away. So communications that you get also will come from the Indium communications team around cyber, and you'll see, for example, in October, which is Cyber Awareness Month, we will have communications ready for you to use. From our training team, from the brand ambassadors, we are going to be offering training suggestions, whether that's webinars that we have found that we're also providing that could be out there on the topic of cyber, overcoming objections, how to talk to clients about it, whether it's articles or short videos that we see that are coming out from our carriers. We're going to provide those links to you so that you have more ability to learn more about the product. Around the consultation piece, Karen and Mark, again, will be providing insight on which carriers to bid, product differences, terminology, and coordinating quotes. They have internal support tools as well to help support them. And then finally, we're going to help you cross-sell. So during the Indium Huddle reviews, while they're looking through those applications, they're going to see, was there a consideration of a cyber product? And if there isn't, we might proactively reach back out to you and say, hey, we recommend that this company has cyber. Is it okay if we go ahead to market with it? Can we get an application in on that? So we'll make sure we're working with you there as well. So that's that agency support level. Under the producer support level within the agency, we want to bring supporting materials to the commercial lines producers and agents who will inform clients about cyber risks, expectations, and the state of requirements that are currently out there. So to help you with that, we've developed this handout. And these handouts have been mailed to our test agency group, so you should receive them this week. And then this is Kim Wyrick, I will also email you electronic copies of these as well. So this first document is the business awareness document that can be used during the customer meeting to guide the conversation through risk, most common threats and scenarios, expectations, which are the current state of requirements or legal issues we're seeing out there, government issues, and then response, recommendations to help minimize risk. And so you'll see we've laid out definitions on this as well so that they can start putting together the words that go along with this and the definitions that they'll be hearing in the cyber risk world. Under client support, to take it a step further, now you've got them thinking about risk type and things like that, and they're putting the terminology together. We also want to make sure you're able to provide your clients with resources to help them minimize their cyber risk. So this is business preparedness. This discussion helps you evolve as you learn about your business and learn about their businesses as well and how they're currently mitigating the potential for a cyber attack. We have tools for you to go over with them that will help analyze their risk, so the business's risk from an employee level, a policy level, a technology level. And you can feel free to use these in your own agency, on your own agency business, and see how you stack up, how prepared you are as well according to this checklist. So this is what this one looks like. It's 4 different pages, and so what you'll see is that it addresses some of the risks that we see from an employee standpoint. Do they lock down their email? Are they password protected? Where do they keep their laptops when they go home? Do they work from home? Do they work from an office location? From a policy and procedure section, we recommend obviously buying cyber risk insurance, but then it goes beyond that. How are they prepared from a policy and procedure standpoint to handle an attack? If they see a breach, what's their first line? What do they do first? Steps A through Z. From a technology standpoint, Do they have antivirus software? Do they track their equipment? How do they dispose of data and of equipment? So all of those things that they can be working through. Producers can give the customers this document and they can help walk them through it, or they can give it back to them and they can walk through it on their own. So that's kind of the point of this checklist. So this is our cyber risk coverage consideration checklist, and what you will see on here is when your discussion turns to buying cyber risk insurance, it can be used to help the customer know what types of risks can be covered. Okay, so now you've talked to them about the risks that are out in the world. You've given them the checklist to see how prepared they are if attack would occur, and some things to help mitigate those risks, lower those risks. But now we got to talk about the cyber coverages. So this checklist can be used by the producer to help populate the application, that traveler's application that we're going to use. You can work through this checklist proactively with your clients. It is used by the agents when the customer has agreed on the need for cyber insurance and the conversation turns to, okay, what type of coverage do I need now? Okay, so you'll see it's 2 pages as well. We think your clients are going to find this tool useful, and it's going to help elevate you in their minds as a trusted advisor. We're not seeing this given out every time a cyber policy is written by our competitors. Okay, so it takes you from just saying you need cyber insurance to let's walk through it and understand what's being covered. Okay, that's the piece that we think is missing out there that's going to help you. It's going to really help solidify the relationship you're forming with them. Okay, the 333 sales process, that's what we kind of just covered. We've got agency support, we've got materials at a producer support level, and then we've got materials to help support our clients and our customers. Behind all of that, we want to provide you with marketing and communication tools so that you can proactively go after new accounts and selling cyber to your existing accounts. We're going to provide you email starters, we're going to provide you with social media blurbs that you can use, and a Mythbusters document that you can use. So all of this will be customizable. You can use it and brand it from your agency. That's fine with us. We just want to be able to provide it to you. So during the test phase, as we send these out, please give us feedback. This one looks great. We would like to see more of this. We changed this and it worked better. So feel free to give us that feedback as we go through. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Mark, who's going to cover our targeted small businesses.
All right, thanks, Kim. Yeah, so we are going to do in this test phase with the cyber program is target the small businesses to mid-sized businesses. And then more specifically, we're going to focus on the financial institutions as well as the medical institutions. We've participated in deep discussions with our carrier partners, talked to them about, where is the most opportunity, where's their best ability to focus, and where are they most competitive, which markets. And, from what they are telling us, the small size to mid-sized businesses are where they are very comfortable right now, and they're very competitive in offering proposals and coverage to customers. Initially, a lot of people thought when you bring up the discussion of cyber risks and cyber attacks, a lot of people will think of your larger corporations. People always, refer back to the Target incident where they had a breach and everybody's records were exposed. But what we're actually finding out is that the healthcare and financial services especially, and the smaller businesses are really the ones that are most vulnerable. They are typically least prepared to handle a cyber breach, and a lot of times, unfortunately, if a breach does occur, they're unable to recover, and a lot of these businesses end up actually having to close their doors within 6 months following a cyber attack. So When focusing or thinking about existing clients that you have or potential new business opportunities, and thinking about the medical industry, what you'll want to think of and consider is like operations such as your primary care physician's office or an independent financial advisor. These types of businesses, a lot of times, they spend their days seeing patients and customers and focusing on growing their businesses. They don't have the resources available and the time typically to devote to focusing on the security behind their websites and making sure that they do have that protection that they really do need to have. We've discovered and feel that cyber insurance, there is a definite opportunity for growth for both agents and brokers. And what we're going to focus on through this process is assisting you guys, our agents, with focusing on your current clients that you have, as well as looking at possible opportunities and branching out to new prospects that you can present this program to and help to drive business to your agency. I'd like to next talk about the carrier partners that we have chosen to work with. We do have 4 carrier partners, and we wanted to, in putting together this program, we wanted to take an aggregated approach. We've decided to use these particular carriers because we have a great relationship with them currently through Indium, and all 4 of these carriers actually have cyber programs established that they've been working through, providing quotes to customers and actually selling business to for quite some time now. So the first partner is going to be Travelers. Then the second carrier partner is Chubb, and our third partner is going to be Victor O, and they have a special cyber program developed and backed by Ace Paper. And then our fourth partner is CNA. We did, in this process, receive a proposal for Indium and reached out. We got quotes from all 4 carrier partners, so we were able to take a look at the different applications that the carriers use and the processes that they go through. We have determined and decided to use Travelers application as our standard application. It's a short application, about 4 pages long, and really it's only about a page and a half of actual questions about the business operations, coverages wanted, things of that nature. So it's a quick, easy application, and very it flows nicely. So what I'd like to talk to you about next is what you can expect during the quote process. We will ask you to submit your cyber opportunities to us here at Indium, same way you would submit any other opportunity that you would have to newbiz@goindium.com. And we will review those submissions daily in our huddle. And Karen and I, initially in this test phase, will be your cyber go-to experts. We will share the submissions between the 2 of us and get them assigned to ourselves and respond back to you just like we would with any other new business submission that you would send in to us. What you can expect from Karen and I as far as your proposal, we will be sending an email to you with the actual proposal from the carriers that we submitted to, as well as any brochures and sell sheets from that carrier. And the third component will be a proposal matrix and coverage definition tool that we have developed here at Indium. And this tool will be great for helping you to discuss the coverages and endorsements and make it easier for you to explain those different coverages to your clients. So let's go ahead and take a look at the tools that we have created here. This first slide you'll see is in our matrix is for compiling the proposals that we are going to be sending to you. As you see on the slide here, we've broken it down to an aggregate limit at the top, and then below that you've got your first-party limits, and then your third-party limits, and then any additional items that may be offered by our 4 carriers. You'll also see on this slide or below definitions from the carriers of their specific coverage language. This is going to be really nice as far as helping you to, number one, compare the quotes yourself and understand the different terminology as well as the meanings. And also, when you present to your customer and the insured, explaining those coverages and the differences to them as well. This template does link the INDIAM coverage definitions from the cyber coverage checklist that Kim talked to you about earlier, and it's going to make the process flow nicely. Another added feature to this matrix is the fact that it is brandable, so you can customize it with your logo instead of ours. That way it'll make it more forward-facing from your office to your customer there. So we think that we're excited about this tool. We think it's going to be very useful, and it's going to help to just keep the process flowing nicely as you do present the quotes to your insureds. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Kim now, and she's going to go ahead and discuss some of the next steps in this test phase process.
Thanks, Mark. All right, so the first thing we want you to do now that you've gotten through this presentation is to go ahead and submit a cyber application for your own agency. We realize some of you already have a cyber policy, and that's okay. Use the INDIAM application process on your own business as a learning example. We won't market it out if you don't want us to, but you want to become familiar with the end-to-end quote process, and there's no better way to do this than on your own business. So go ahead and submit it on your own agency. If you don't have a policy already, this is a perfect opportunity to get that priced and placed for you before you start talking to customers about what they need. The second thing we wanted you to do is to go ahead and plan on who you're going to talk to. Remember, those target markets that we selected for our small businesses are going to be in the financial and medical sectors, so we want you to make sure you're looking at those first, but then also look in your current book of business to see who else you can offer cyber coverage to. Finally, we want you to continue your cyber research. Take a look at all of the supporting materials that we're sending to you, become very familiar with them, and see how you're going to use them as part of your consultative sales approach. Also, as we find, again, those interesting articles or sites or training classes or webinars or videos, we're going to send them your way. So we will be working on that. We're also going to be working on creating even more materials with our carriers that will help you learn more about cyber language, industry standards, and case scenarios. So I promise that will be coming out. Give us feedback along the way. Again, we promise to get you updates on how the test phase is going, but we want to hear back from you, and we're going to solicit feedback. How is it going? How are the carriers? What's the product look like? How's the application process? How are the supporting materials that we've given you? So that when we roll this all out to the INDIAM agencies at large, we want to make sure the process works very well. So just to sum up what we reviewed, today we covered the INDIAM 333 cyber approach that incorporates all of the supporting materials for you to use when you consult with your clients about cyber risk and cyber insurance. We covered the targeted classes of small businesses that you should start with because of their substantial classified information and their high risk of a cyber attack. We also reviewed the support that we will give you during the quote process so that you'll have a solid proposal to walk through with each client. and we shared our very strong chosen carriers. So with that, after today's presentation, you can email any questions to Mark or Karen, and we will make sure to address those. Also, a question came up from our earlier session about where do we submit the application. You submit those through the new business at goindium.com site that you're used to using for your commercial submissions. Anything else, Mark, before we close out the recording that you can think of?
I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Again, if you want supporting materials or questions that you might have answered, go ahead and send those over to Mark or Karen, and we will get back with you. Thank you very much.